Hello, I'm Nathan Leahy and welcome to Next Week in Gaming. So first up this week is a reasonably decent sale on Steam this week, and this is the Ubisoft Weekend Sale. It ends on Monday the 28th of March, and this is, you know, for the most part actually quite interesting because Rainbow Six Siege and Far Cry Primal haven't actually been out that long, and yet respectively between them they've got 33 and 20% off, which is pretty good, and quite strange considering they haven't been out for that many weeks, and yet they're already seeing these great deals. Now I always drone on about how awful Uplay is, but sometimes you can just sort of deal with it, particularly when it comes to some of Ubisoft's better titles. And you know, you just got to take one for the team, and they've got some really good deals, especially on, you know, South Park: The Stick of Truth. That's down to like £4 or £5, as is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is excellent. And there's just a whole lot of stuff on sale from Ubisoft as publishers, and you know, they do have quite a lot of good stuff, and they're getting quite sort of severe with their price cuts, which is surprising. I didn't expect it from them, but you can see as much as 75% off, which puts some of their reasonably decent and modern titles down way below $10, way below £10. So it's definitely well worth looking at, especially if you don't have anything to play this weekend. Heaven forbid. So go ahead and take a look at that sale. So our first release coming up soon, sometime soon. This is apparently coming out early 2016, but judging by the place where it is on Steam's upcoming releases list, I'm guessing it's going to be in the next few weeks. And this is Unbrella Corp. Now, this is by Capcom, and some of their Umbrella-orientated games, not necessarily Resident Evil specifically, but, you know, their Operation Raccoon Cities have not been fantastic. And this is a bit of a weird title, and it's got a bit of a weird thing surrounding it because the Steam page seems a little bit broken. The title's all nonsense up, and the links go nowhere, and the write-up just seems non-existent. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with this title. It feels like they're really half-arsing it, and if you look at the gameplay trailer, which should be playing over this now, if you take a really close look at some of the movement and take a look at the AI, it really doesn't look like a AAA quality title. Like some of the movements and some of the way the AI is dealing with things, it looks quite rough around the edges. I mean, we're looking at 2008 style animations, so it's, you know, I'm not having great thoughts about this one already. It is going to be like a 6-player map type game. And very strangely, the zombies that will be wandering around the maps will completely ignore you for the most part, unless you're Zombie Jammer, which is the most ridiculous gadget I've ever heard of. As you take damage, they'll become more and more attracted to you until all of them are attacking you. So, you know, there's not a whole lot of write-up on this game, and I'm not convinced it's going to have a particularly pleasant release, judging by the looks of the state it's in these gameplay videos. But who knows, it might actually turn out relatively decent. Next up is a game that's coming out on Friday the 1st of April by Doomsday Games, and this is called Astro Kill. Now, this is a title that looks relatively similar between a sort of like Starpoint Gemini 2 and Freelancer and games like that, in that it's going to be a campaign-led space game. It's got that Newtonian-style physics-based travel movement system. It looks quite cool. I think the art style reminds me quite a bit of Space Engineers, which when I looked at it, it doesn't have a lot of gameplay similarities between Space Engineers aside from the Newtonian flight model, but it looks interesting. And I don't know, I was looking at the gameplay trailers and visually it was all shiny. It seemed like a bit of a light show, but it felt like the environment was quite empty. And well, you know, you can play a bunch of different ships in different sizes and speeds and all this crazy stuff, and it's going to be basically like an arena dogfight style game, but in the main campaign mode. And it, you know, the dialogue looks all right and everything like that. It just visually felt a little bit empty. So, you know, it's got 6 months left in early access when it finally jumps into early access, so it may improve significantly. Maybe they'll just deal with, you know, the back boxes and stuff like that, and it might be a hell of a lot better. So we look forward to seeing how that one develops. Also releasing on Friday the 1st of April is a game called Adam's Venture Origins. This is by Vertigo Games, and it's being published by Sedesco, and this is kind of like a low-budgety, lo-fi version of Tomb Raider. It is basically a remastering of the previous game, which is just called Adam's Venture. I can't remember what it was. It was, you know, budgety, but it was actually reasonably pleasant, to be perfectly honest. This is a more puzzle-focused version of the adventure genre, so as opposed to shooting random birds and collecting stuff and surviving and all that nonsense, it is more of a puzzle sort of Indiana Jones style game. Now, in the remastering, they haven't completely HDified everything, but they've done a reasonably decent job, and they have added a grappling hook for added random stuff just to throw around the gameplay a little bit. But looking at the grappling hook animations, they are a little bit sort of early 2000s style animation. So it is going to be a little bit rough around the edges, but, you know, for 8 to 10 hours worth of interesting gameplay, it might be worthwhile to some of you. So our review for next week on Thursday, the 31st of March, will be Adrift, which is one of those massive VR games that has been advertised quite a bit over the last few months, and it's, you know, one of the big 30 games that is being released and supporting VR. We will be reviewing it, however, I don't have a VR kit, so I'm going to miss out on that aspect. But the game, I'm sort of expecting it not to be particularly long, because it's a story-led experience, sort of like the vanishing of Ethan Carter as opposed to anything more sort of Call of Duty in space or whatever. But it looks fantastic. I mean, visually it looks awesome, and it's sort of playing on that Gravity storyline and the fact that the last 12 months have been wildly... everyone's been fans of the whole space stuff since, you know, the ISS has had some stuff, and then we've had the Martian film and everything like that. So Adrift is definitely capitalizing on that big sort of haze that's going on right now. And it looks fantastic, and I'm really, really hoping it is awesome as well, because I've spent quite a lot of time on just sort of fun entertainment games and not much time on more story-led adventures, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. And if we have time, we will also be running a review of Battlefleet Gothic Armada if we have time, and if we get like a review guide before launch. I have had access to the multiplayer for now, but I am looking to do a campaign-orientated review for that also. So that's it from us at NextPowerUp. Join us next week on Thursday for our weekly review of Adrift and possibly Battlefleet Gothic Armada, and also on Saturday for our next Week in Gaming episode. So as usual, let us know what you guys have been playing. No Friday Night Magic for me last night, because it was I think it was a Commander EDH deck tournament night, and I don't have time or the cards or the patience to build anything like that. But with pre-release coming the week after, it should be relatively cool because all the cards got revealed. Anyway, haven't had much time to play anything recently, although I have taken next week off, so I'll be absolutely hammering Adrift until completion, and then dabbling in Battlefleet Gothic Armada. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you next week.